The April 10th, 2025 regular school board meeting to order. Will the assistant principals lead us in the pledge, please? Ready?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Perfect, thank you so much. Now I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I move we approve the agenda as presented.
That's second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. The agenda is approved. Now we are going to go into the recognitions and presentations.
All right.
Dr. Hester?
All right. I was getting a little nervous.
Okay.
All right, so the first up for our recognitions is going to be the VSBA Student Art Contest winner. So Chloe, don't get too comfortable. All right. And also, while we do that, can we have that slide come up for me, please?
Perfect.
All right, so we're recognizing Chloe Hernandez today for being the VSBA region or Central Region Art Contest winner for the middle school level. And VSBA wants to say congratulations. One of the perks of this honor is her artwork, which you see right here, will be hanging in the office for VSBA for the next year. Additionally, which is new this year, is Chloe's artwork is automatically entered into the statewide competition with the winners at each of the elementary, middle, and high school being honored guests at the annual convention, which will take place in Williamsburg in November, along with, I believe, $1,000 award. So that's pretty exciting that you have that. One of the things I just wanted to talk a little bit about, does this particular piece have a name? Like, does the fish have a name?
It's a mandarin.
It's a mandarin fish. Okay, good to know. So for this assignment, students selected a colorful exotic animal and then drew it on a Bristol board. They used a technique of pointillism, which uses Staedtler pens as a medium. Pointillism is done with tiny dots of color, sometimes combined with their complementary color set, and at other times 3 shades of the same color. So students had the opportunity to study color theory and then figure out which pens they wanted to use. So was there any particular reason why you chose that little guy? No, you just liked it? It ended up beautiful, and we want to say congratulations to you. You get this this certificate from the Virginia School Board Association, or the VSBA, and also able to be recognized in front of everyone, and we're going to be pretty excited to see how far you can go for the statewide competition. So congratulations, and we're going to smile at this nice lady, and then Mom, you'll have a chance to take a picture. Ready? Oh, wait, let's get over. Let's take 2 steps to the right. One more. There you go.
1, 2, 3.
Ms. Davis?
Oh, yeah, sure.
So Ms. Davis is her teacher, so we don't want to leave her out.
I turned my phone off to be respectful, so I'm sorry.
Nice.
Sorry. Hold me all up.
Good job, Chloe.
That is amazing.
Yeah. Sorry. It's coming.
She's drawing it. She's going to draw the picture.
Sorry. I'm gonna move up just a little bit, 'cause I'm old school, I like to get close-ups. The kids hate it when I do that. And by the way, just to let you all know, that took her 3 weeks.
Wow.
It's probably
That
over
is
1 million
amazing.
dots.
Congratulations.
That I'm an artist by trade as well, and I studied fine arts all through high school, into college, and became a master of what I do, and I'm very proud of that work. Continue on. Great career out of it. I'm famous myself.
Yeah, all right. All right, so next up, we're going to recognize our paraprofessionals. So every year throughout the nation, there's a day set aside to recognize our paraprofessionals. And these are individuals, we refer to them quite frequently as like instructional assistants. They can also be some of our behavioral support assistants or in-school suspension supervisors. But these are, it's probably cliche, but it does perfectly reflect what these individuals do. They're the unsung heroes within our buildings. They are the individuals that when we need, a substitute doesn't show up, we need to pull them from working so closely and individually with our students, and we need them to go supervise some other things. Or they are some of the most flexible individuals. One second they're helping with math, the next second they're helping with reading, and the next they are really making a connection with our students and getting up and walking around the building before behaviors escalate or things just go sideways. So we really want to say thank you so much, because these are the individuals that really help make the entire classroom, school, division run. And they are some among, a lot of our individuals that are important, but they're not always on that front line. And they are behind the scenes getting all of these things done. So bear with me, we have a few of these individuals, but I really wanted to make sure that we took an opportunity to recognize them. So if I call your name, please come up and get your certificates, all right? This nice lady over here is going to take your picture. I know everybody loves that part, but this is our way of saying thank you so much. So the first person, I will say this is a Thursday night right before spring break. We've got a million things going on throughout the county, so there are a lot of people who may not have been able to make it this evening. We have a play going on, we have a whole bunch of things going on. So if someone isn't here, more than likely it's because they are super busy doing some other things. So Ms. Ashley Austin, is Ashley able to make it? No. Tanya Bodek, oh my gosh, how do I do that wrong? And so what the certificate says is thank you for your service and dedication to our schools. It's in honor of Paraprofessional Appreciation Day, which was April 2nd. So congratulations. Thank you so much for what you do for our students, schools, and communities. So we're going to get this picture right here. Oh, yeah. Can't run away yet.
I got that short.
You want to get one? You good? Okay. All right. Just gonna get one. Ready? All right. You good? Congratulations. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Sylvana Campbell able to make it? So Sylvana is also at our high school. Peggy D. Sabor. Peggy, nope, not able to make it today. Okay. Cynthia Harper. I did not see her. Okay. Crystal Phillips. Nope. Okay. Crystal Phillips, who's an instructional assistant at our high school. Lori Banks. Lori Banks is new to us, came in to take over working with a lot of our students, being able to supervise, particularly some of our online students. Shirley Goolsby. Shirley serves as our in-school suspension supervisor at the high school. So we want to say thank you to all of our high school. Give me 1 second. I'll move on. Okay. For our middle school, I'd like to recognize Laura Combs. Was Laura able to make it today? No? Okay. Jennifer Durkee. Jennifer Durkee is an instructional assistant at the middle school. Sierra Miller. Sierra Miller, no. And also Chris Dowdy. Chris Dowdy serves as in-school suspension supervisor. I would imagine Chris Dowdy right now, he's also our baseball coach. So he's wearing multiple hats, playing multiple roles. So thank you so much for our middle school paraprofessionals. For Rockfish River Elementary School, we have a behavioral support assistant, Angie Campbell. Angie, nope, not able to make it today. Jennifer Klein. Jennifer Klein is an instructional assistant at Rockfish. Megan Eccles. Megan Eccles able to make it? Nope. Kelsey Gaines. Kelsey Gaines. Hope Hurst. Okay. Carrie Shoemaker. Stephanie Tati. Jennifer Lane. Emily Martin. And Naomi Saunders. Naomi Saunders, those are our instructional assistants for Rockfish River Elementary. And for Tye River Elementary School, we have Susie Ballou, Marie Fitch, Rhonda Harvey, April Simpson, Kelly Woodson, Dana Bryant. Regina Campbell. Melody Marshall. Patty Morcom. Jessica Tomlin. Jessica Tyree. Melissa Watson. And Jessica Massey. So as I mentioned, all these individuals are super busy throughout the day, rarely getting those breaks, but they're also super busy in the evening. So we want to say thank you very much to our Ty River instructional team. All right, and all of our instructional assistants. Okay. We got 2 more groups that we're going to recognize. The next group, or no, 3 more actually. The next group, and I know I think we were struggling getting everybody out here today, is our librarians. April 4th was School Librarian Day, so we want to say thank you to these individuals. I think once upon a time we associated our librarians with just our traditional hardcore books, but they have now transitioned into they are also our media resource specialists, and they deal quite frequently with supporting our students with technology as well as digital literacy and really supporting in all aspects. So we want to say thank you to Tracy Clark, who is our high school librarian, and she was not able to make it this evening. Beth Price is our middle school librarian. We want to say thank you to Heather Herrick, who is new to us and serving at Rockfish River Elementary School. And last but certainly not least, Ms. Misty Ferguson, who is our Ty River librarian. So we want to say thank you very much to all of our librarians. This week has been a week that has been dedicated to another group of individuals who work within our buildings that also sometimes they're the voice that has to call home sometimes to deliver some news that is usually not always great, but more and more they're able to be positive influences on our students because they work so closely. And these are our assistant principals. We no longer really refer to these individuals as vice principals because that only suggests the discipline piece, but these are also individuals who are directly related to our instructional support, being able to have more of that transformational leadership roles in their development in becoming principals. So we want to be able to recognize all of our assistant principals here in Nelson County. So first up, we will recognize someone who is new to us, and that is Ms. Amy Poindexter, assistant principal at the high school. You get to hold that, and then I think you're, all right. Congratulations. Ms. Michelle Goff. Ms. Michelle Goff is assistant principal at the high school. So congratulations and thank you for your service as our assistant principal. Okay. Congratulations. Unfortunately, I don't think Mr. McCullough, oh yes, he's standing right in front of me. Mr. McCullough, please join us up here. Rob McCullough, he is our assistant principal at the high school. There you go, all right. You're the guy right there. Congratulations, thank you so much. For Rockfish River Elementary School, Colby Lopez. Oh, sorry. You were tasked with getting that. Okay, it's okay. Sorry.
Counterpart kidney.
All right. Thanks. Colby's playing double duty tonight. There's a play going on at Rockfish that she needs to get to as well. Last but not least, Mr. Brandon Garrett over at Ty River Elementary School. Congratulations. Here you go. Oh, he's a little taller. birthday? Congratulations. Now, for our final category of recognitions, and these are our One Nelson Awards. And for those of you who are maybe new to us this evening or have forgotten what our One Nelson Award is, it is an award that is based off of nominations, and it goes to celebrate individuals who portray what I like to say a One Nelson mentality, and that's we recognize that it takes everybody to be a part of the success of our students in our schools. And so everybody does little parts in order to do that. We have 4 categories. We have a student category, we have a community category, we have a classified employee category, and we have a certified employee category. And so we try to recognize individuals from each of those. So the first one I always like to recognize is our students. So Brooklyn Bennett, will you please join me up here? Congratulations. I was going to read. So Brooklyn was nominated by an individual at her school, and I'm going to read to you what was submitted as to the reason why. Brooklyn is the kind of student who wants to help people smile. She is also an avid writer who keeps a journal and loves the power of written language. In preparation for the middle school celebration of Virginia Kindness Week, Brooklyn combined her 2 passions of spreading joy and writing into a personal mission project. She looked up personal affirmations and then wrote each one on a little post-it sized scratch pad. Then she donated her pile of over 240 sayings to the school counseling office for Kindness Week. Her little notes are amazing. They encourage and empower classmates to believe in themselves, know their worth, and treat others with respect. School counseling laminated each of these notes and displayed them throughout the building. Teachers and students absolutely loved them. I had a chance to see them and I thought they were great. You can also hear people talking about them during class changes, so your classmates and peers saw it as well and appreciated it. What a wonderful gesture of genuine kindness. Brooklyn's compassion for our community deserves our applause. So congratulations, Brooklyn, on being nominated for Please can take the picture, and I'm sure your mom will. Oh, there you go. Wait, let's move you outside of the podium. There you go. Congratulations. Oh, wait. I got something else for you. Other thing is, oh gosh, okay, well, I'm gonna play Jenga here. Believe me, there's something good. Here you go. It's your own mug with One Nelson inscripted on it. So I'm going to keep it in the plastic and the bubble wrap so I don't break it. And congratulations. Another round of applause for Ms. Brooklyn. All right, next up is our community member. And this award goes to Ms. Beth Anderson of Anytime Fitness. Yes. Congratulations. All right, and I will do just the same. All right, as the manager of Anytime Fitness, Beth has consistently demonstrated her dedication to building a strong, supportive community. Her commitment extends beyond the gym as she organizes an annual school supply drive to support our schools. This initiative highlights her genuine concern for the well-being of our community and her drive to make tangible difference. Beth's daily efforts to encourage fitness and camaraderie at the gym, combined with her charitable activities, reflect her deep commitment to fostering unity and support. Her tireless work and generous spirit make her an extremely exemplary candidate for this honor. It is a privilege to recognize Beth Anderson for her exceptional contributions and unwavering dedication to enhancing our community. So congratulations on being a One Nelson winner. We're going to look at this lady right here. Anybody got? Oh, yep. Congratulations, and let me give you a mug. Here you go. Thank you so much for all that you did. Wish I would have recognized the one that was open before fighting with the other one so much. All right, the next category is for our classified employees. So Mr. Sam Bryant, will you come join me up here? Congratulations, sir. All right. Sam drives the school bus and is always willing to drive for other trips as well. He provides a good example to students and is a positive male role model. He recently drove the FFA to the Virginia Tech campus for an event. He was a safe and attentive driver and also helped out where he could during the event. Sam made sure everyone was taken care of, gave advice to the students about the competition, because you are a recent graduate and participated a great deal with FFA, and he also made sure that everyone was taken care of. He delivered everyone to where they needed to be and did so on time. Sam was very well-mannered and kept a calm and engaging demeanor with everyone. So we want to say thank you for supporting us and your continued commitment to us, and congratulations on being a One Nelson winner. So congratulations. Picture right there. There we go. Anybody? Oh, okay. Just want to make sure we didn't miss something. Congratulations. And here is your mug. There you go. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. We have one more One Nelson winner, and that is for our certified category. So Ms. Gabriella Sabina, will you join us, please? All right. Oh, this is small print. Okay. That means there's a lot written here, that's why, yes. So Gabriella Sabino is an inspiring educator whose passion for teaching and commitment to student success are evident in all she does. She approaches each day with positivity, professionalism, and a reflective mindset, making her a valued colleague and role model within our school community. What truly sets Ms. Sabino apart is her dedication to student learning. She has intentionally cultivated a culture of literacy within her high school science classroom, ensuring that all students have meaningful access to scientific texts. Through the integration of writing, reading groups, and targeted vocabulary instruction, Ms. Sabino empowers her students to build a deeper understanding of scientific concepts and how they connect to the world around them. Ms. Sabino exemplifies the One Nelson spirit, not only through her innovative classroom practices, but also through her willingness to collaborate, grow, and learn alongside her peers. Her contributions to both student learning and professional culture make her an invaluable member of the Nelson community. That's also in addition, you do some other things for us, correct?
Yes, I do. I'm a coach.
Yes. She spends a lot of time outside of the classroom working with our students. So we want to say thank you so much for what you do. We're going to take this picture and we're going to look together that day. Okay. Congratulations. Thank you. Oh, don't forget your mug.
Thank you so much. Now we will have comments from board members. Ms. Turner-Giles, would you like to go first?
Sure. So certainly, I just want to say congratulations to all of our award winners. I am just in awe of you. You know, this is what makes Nelson so special. It is the little things, it's the big things, but it's what you do that makes a difference in students' lives. Chloe, oh my gosh, I am still doing like stick figures. I don't know how you drew that, but that was absolutely amazing, amazing. Beautiful drawing, just so proud of you. And Brooklyn, I had the pleasure of reading some of your sayings. So thank you. You need to put all of that in a poetry book and sell it. They were beautiful, just beautiful. So just so proud of Nelson. You know, it's amazing, and as much as I appreciate the honor to serve in this capacity, very often I get phone calls from individuals that talk about the things that go on at the school, good, bad, and indifferent. But there are more occasions that we hear all of the good stories. And it is just attributed to this amazing team of teachers, amazing team of leaders that we have, and I just want to thank you. This week has been one of those special weeks where we have gotten lots of phone calls about things that have gone on. So I think it's important to recognize that Nelson, we may be small, but we're making a big difference in people's lives. So thank you for that. The only other thing I will say is I'm so looking forward to the play at Rockfish. I know several of people are there tonight, and I plan to be there tomorrow, so just looking forward to attending that. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Chief?
So want to echo what Ms. Turner-Giles said. Chloe, that was amazing. You've got real talent. That is an amazing gift that you have. And I wish you luck in the state competition. I think you'll do well. But I agree. The One Nelson Awards, I think it's really important that we recognize people for great efforts that they do and things that they do to help our students in the community and help our schools. We do have a great community of people, unsung heroes, as it were, people that come and help, and they don't raise their hand and say it was me, me, me. So it's important that we recognize them, and congratulations to all of you, because without you, it would be extremely difficult we couldn't be at the level that we are, but it would be difficult to do many of the things that our school system is able to do. So thank you to everybody.
Thank you so much.
I just want to say thank you to everyone. Appreciate all your hard work, your dedication to the school system and to the county. And without y'all, we couldn't make each kid's life special in some way or another to this county and to this state. And we appreciate all of y'all.
Thank you.
You guys don't leave me much by the time you get to the end of the line here, but, hey, listen, I'm all that they said for sure. Chloe, I mean, just, I don't even understand how people draw. So it is an incredible talent, and I think you get it honestly throughout your family. So congratulations to you. Brooklyn, you are amazing. I mean, just to do that. We talked about the young man who stopped and helped somebody a couple months ago here, and we see you doing these good things, passing these positive words of affirmation out, and I think we just have to continue to think about there's a whole lot more good, and with kids like you in this world coming through, it's the best. It's the best of what we got. I want to acknowledge Sam too. We've got a student who is not far out of school that is being acknowledged for a One Nelson Award, and again, this talks about our kids that graduate that come back to do a lot of good things here, so thank you. One thing we haven't talked about that I want to throw a shout out to is our FCCLA program. They just got back from their state competition and knocked it out of the ballpark. And so I think they're in the early days of doing those competitions, and now they have people who have qualified for nationals, and this is a big deal, right, Mr. Walker? Huge deal. So, and then one of the students is their student rep that's not here tonight, because again, everybody's doing something more than the one thing that they're set to do. So, a big congratulations to them.
Thank you very much. And I'm just going to echo what you guys said. It is an amazing group of people that we have, a group of students that we have that just make us proud all the time, and the people that do all the hard work in the schools every day. Really, we couldn't do it without them. So also, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to the play at Rockfish tomorrow. And yeah, spring break's next week too. So just to roll kind of right into important dates. Spring break is next week. I know everybody's looking forward to it. I hope you have a really nice, sunny, relaxing week. Don't worry about a thing. We're going to take care of everything while you're gone. No, I'm just kidding. We're not. Then we have just a few little things going on, and then all of a sudden school year's over. It is crazy how close that end of the school year is. It's just around the corner. So keep it together. We're going to do okay, and we'll get there. So that's all I had to say. Now we have, I guess the student representatives aren't here, so we'll skip that part. Okay. I missed that. And now we'll have the comments from the superintendent.
Okay, all right. So, that will be, I don't think they do, but, yes, yeah, we're the pathways, but they are, so. Yes, no, but thank you for trying to look out, I appreciate that. I think they appreciate that, yes, so, I do want to, and I'll talk a little bit about this in the Pathways to Success, about what each individual departments are working on. Starting in January, it is a furious effort to make sure that we're building a budget that reflects all of our needs and items that are necessary for success. So in March, you all approved my proposed budget. I appreciate that. But a nice development was Board of Supervisors coming back saying, we know that it takes a while to order buses, and we know that you guys are in need of replenishing the fleet to make sure that we are upholding the standards that have been set forth. So they have encouraged us, and we have done so in purchasing 4 new buses. So we're pretty excited about this because the last time we purchased buses was really through a grant for our electric buses. Prior to that, it had been quite a while. So we appreciate that support in really rebuilding up an aging fleet, and that goes to support the safety of our students, our staff, and our community. So we want to make sure that everybody understands how much that is greatly appreciated. Also continue to monitor state and local legislative updates. The reconvene session has ended and has passed all those decisions back. May 2nd is a targeted time to learn more about the state updates as we continue to keep an eye on all things that could potentially impact not only our budget, but also our policies. I'll draw one example to that is potential changes to the cell phone policy that we see coming down that would take place for next year that will be codified, meaning it will be based into the Code of Virginia. So we keep an eye on that. We make sure that we're staying abreast of that and to be flexible enough to make any adjustments that we would so need to. When it comes to the pathways, if we could get that one up. All right, for administration department, am I not? Yeah, there we go. We got to turn that one on, don't we? So as I mentioned about the buses, well, I appreciate Mr. Ashley doing a lot of research about the best possible buses to make sure we ordered. We ordered 4. And Ms. Irvin was integral in being able to work through the purchase orders and getting everything straight for that. So we want to say thank you very much. Last year, Ms. Irvin was recognized with the Cardinal Award through the VSBA, or the Virginia School Board Officers Association, and was also recognized most recently at the Southeast Association of School Board Business Officials for being Virginia's outstanding building official for 24-25. So we want to say congratulations. She continues to follow court cases that are potentially impacting our E-rate funding, and also some things that could impact our community eligibility provision, or CEP, that's our free breakfast and lunch. So we continue to watch those court cases as well as other pending legislative updates. Also continue the other day-to-day things like filing reimbursements for bond anticipation notes that will go towards our high school renovation, and then looking at options for voluntary insurance and benefits, making sure that we're staying on top of options for our employees for voluntary benefits and health insurance consulting and all those things to make sure we're supporting our employees the best we can. Instruction, after tomorrow, when we come back on Tuesday the 22nd, we'll have 24 days left of school. So that will be a condensed amount of work, but this has been taking place all along, continuing to support the instruction by doing walkthroughs and team walkthroughs and doing reflective practices afterwards, working with a group of our instructional teams through a division improvement team where we've had opportunities to break teachers and IAs and everyone into squads to work on things that they feel are going to impact and support the school goals. And so I look forward to either in May or June having some of those individual present some of the projects they've been working on. So because it's innovative and it's cool, and it goes directly back and it shows the input and feedback of our staff into what they do on a daily basis. If ever we should be concerned about the future of our students, go to the BRVGS presentations. Their capstone projects are seeped in community service, but they're also kind of that internship experience where our seniors get to present and show what they've done to have a community service aspect to a project, and the work that they do and the thoughtful kind of nature that they do and how they give back is amazing, and it really is it really has that faith in what our future in Nelson is going to be, and they do a great job. We've had multiple family engagement opportunities and through literacy nights and a few other things, and the continued professional development for English learner PD, starting to plan summer learning, believe it or not, that's on the horizon, and being able to work through that. As you see right back behind Mr. Perkins there, that portrait of a graduate, we've spent a great deal of time and energy building this, developing it, and we have been implementing it into our lessons to try to develop those 5 items that contribute directly to not only career, but college and life readiness that we know will be the necessary skills. Human resources, this is the hiring season. We talk about it every single time. So they're going out on recruiting visits to various locations, including the High School Career Expo, where we had our human resources team representing any potential high school students who may want to come back and work for Nelson County Public Schools. I'll show you on a later slide where Mr. Ashley was there representing the transportation department, and we know it works because Mr. Bryant was just a recent graduate, now drives for us and stays connected. So we know that that is a great pipeline for us. Also creating further partnerships to be able to have a grow your own and a pipeline of individuals, whether it's IAs becoming teachers or just being able to get certifications for our staff to be able to do the best they can for us, but more opportunities. Also collaborating with retired staff, working through our ERIP program to make sure that we're aligning their skills, their certifications with our needs, and not just only using them for a substitute, but making sure that we're really aligning them to what we need them for, and they've done a great job with it. Also received approval from the VDOE to bring iTeach to Nelson County, so we're pretty excited about opportunities there. Our pupil personnel, Ms. Reudinger and her team, have been conducting, along with the instructional team, class observations, and that has been completed for early childhood. Also, early childhood special education students working on fine and gross motor skills, as you can see the different activities that they work on. In the last couple meetings, we've discussed LifeBridge and bringing in some opportunities for counseling. It has been pretty popular to the point where we're looking to try to see how we can expand that, because those are giving supports directly with our students and the necessary. We've talked about this in our community. It's a little difficult at times to get some of those mental health resources, and so this has been a pretty nice addition for us, and it has been, we believe, working for us. Successful 5th and 6th grade transition meetings for students. As we have our 5th graders transition to the middle school, it's important to have those meetings so everybody understands the needs of the students and how they can be accommodated and have that successful shift to the middle school. I know we are looking forward to a couple activities that are coming up, like the Tournament of Champions that will be held at Louisa, where we have some of our students going, and I invite all of you to be able to visit that if you can. It is Friday, is that the 26th, 28th? 25th to Louisa. It is an exciting event, and it's very worthwhile to see our kids participate. Ms. Denna here? Yes, yep. So she can attest to that. That's it. Technology, Mr. Cargill and his team, Chromebook updates, we were able to, like our bus fleets, we also need to keep our Chromebook cohorts up to date and operational, so we need to order them on a rotational basis. So we were able to get those orders in and get them prior to any kind of supply chain issues or price issues. So I appreciate the heads up on that. Cybersecurity training, first round of simulations, making sure we're keeping a watchful eye. We are surrounded by areas that are battling cybersecurity issues, and it'll be an ongoing thing. So Mr. Cargill and his team are making sure that our staff is trained on how to recognize an email that is suspicious and that could be potentially dangerous for us, considering we have very important, critical information that we store. Also being able to provide our staff with innovative resources to be able to do some things. They can check them out of the technology group, and being able to do different activities or exercises or things like streaming. He is already getting consistent requests for different streaming of events, and so that takes up a lot of time, but it is a way that we are able to show our community, our extended family that aren't able to make it to events, they're able to still see it and connect and stay connected. Zero Eyes, we had a test and a run through to make sure that those alerts, Zero Eyes is that weapons detection system integrated into our security cameras. It is working. We've had some tests with, from local authorities, and those text messages were coming through. I will say, heads up, over spring break on the 17th and 18th, partnering with, I say partnering, but really the Nelson County Sheriff's Office is going to run some active shooter training ops at the middle school side. So that's on the 17th and 18th. We've alerted Zero Eyes, so we won't be getting messages saying, hey, something's going on. But I also bring that because if you're driving by the high school, middle school campus and you see some things taking place, it's planned, it's deliberate, and it's an effort to be able to provide our students, our staff, and our community a safe connection and response in the event something should happen. And it familiarizes not only our sheriff's office, but those who would be cooperating in any kind of response. So we appreciate Lieutenant Brandon, Sheriff Embry, and everybody who's going to be involved in putting that training on. Canvas is our learning management system. We have recently learned that the state will continue to support that, which we're pretty excited about. That was one of those things that was in jeopardy of not being continued, but we do know that that is something that we will be moving forward with. And again, like I said, like we're being streamed right now, those requests are constant and it takes a lot. So we appreciate Mr. Cargill and his willingness to do that because we know it has such an impact on our community. Maintenance continues to be busy. Not only are we working through still prepping for the renovation project, some other things still continue to happen. Taking time to work with our building and trades department, our students in building and trades, to install electrical wiring for our book box. As you'll remember, our book bus is no longer, unfortunately, it is not operable anymore, so we've replaced it with a book box. And so integrating some of our students to be able to participate in prepping it so it can provide a little bit more excitement. Also took advantage of both non-student days that we had in March, the 17th and the 24th, to be able to deal with some water leaks and some other maintenance issues. It was a perfect time to do so without interrupting instruction. Honeywell finished the installation of the chilled water pipes to the new water cooled chiller. Seems like we've been talking about this for all 3 years that I've been here. But it was a very large endeavor, and we've been able to figure it out. So thank you, Les, for staying on top of that. Also conducted interviews on Friday to fill a position so that we've been trying to fill, so we're pretty excited about that. We're going to ramp up some projects, so it'll really be important to make sure that vacancy is filled. We had some storm damage for the most recent storms, not only with some trees falling on one of our fences, but also over at Rockfish, another tree, you could start to see the branches we're going to be pulling. It runs right where our parents are driving through for parent pickup, so I appreciate Les and his crew coming through to be able to clean that up, but also to save the tree. Food nutrition. Oh, no, transportation and safety. I'm just kidding. It's not food nutrition. It's, I might not be able to do this. No, I'm kidding. Submitted pathways on time. So I value everything that our departments do, and I pester them on a monthly. I want to know all the great things that you're doing so we can make sure that we celebrate that. So he was able to get everything in on time. We're pretty excited about that, but also participated at the high school expo, being able to kind of be able to advertise the different positions that we're looking for and open our students' eyes to they can have jobs here and stay in Nelson. You don't have to go somewhere else, and we're a perfect opportunity. We're the largest public employer here, and so we can provide wonderful opportunities for our students. Also conducted the annual spring drive safety meeting with our transportation, reviewing railroad crossings and student loading and unloading. You'll hear time and time again, I say it over and over again, if that school bus is stopped with the stop sign out, do not pass the buses. It is incredibly dangerous to do that. So when that arm and that stop sign is out, do not pass us. Also, we've been testing internally, so tested Brittany Wright for her CDL, and she is now out and en route driving buses, and also worked with Nelson County Service Authority, helping them out by training one of their employees to get a CDL. So we appreciate that effort. Food nutrition, received a second site visit from VFVK, which is the Virginia Food and for Virginia Kids. It's a cohort using the Chef Ann Foundation. Our senior student intern, whose name is Christian Proctor, you see him in that middle picture, great, exceptional young man, and through this PD learning how to make smoothies for breakfast in between working the cash register at the middle school. So he's a student intern that we have working, and he's done a phenomenal job. I know all the ladies in school nutrition will be be very, very sad when he graduates, because they've all kind of embraced him and taken him under their wing. So he's done a great job. Ms. Cannell also attended the School Nutrition Association of Virginia Spring Conference, so receiving valuable information. So we talk about growth, not only just for our students, but for our employees as well. I always like to highlight the amount, the amount of meals that we serve for breakfast. This is for March. We serve 13,015 breakfasts, almost 20,000 lunches, and 834 after-school meals. We've really kicked it into high gear with our remediation programs, and with that remediation program, we're able to provide some after-school meals for our students to help kind of keep them going. We really pride ourselves on encouraging and finding ways to get our community involved, and one of the ways we do that is making sure that we really invite them into our space, but also our students out into theirs. We had the Career Expo. Our FFA students participated in block and bridle competitions in Virginia. We talked about our CCLA high school students, as you see in the red jackets at the bottom, but you also see our middle school students off to the right. So that is a pretty big undertaking of both our high school and our middle school. Obviously, Ms. Chloe Hernandez, fish stippling or pointillism picture. We continue to encourage individuals for pre-K and kindergarten registration. We had the 3rd grade through 5th grade Tide River concert last night, the art exhibit, 6th grade orientation. We had, I think, 8 of our high school students that have artwork at a Smithsonian Associated Museum. And you see that in the bottom right. WSET had a nice little segment on those art students. And also some of our drama students throughout the county participated in something in the community and put on a wonderful theater show. So just really like to highlight the community engagement, because we talk about One Nelson, and it takes everyone to be a part of this, and it takes us being a part of the community as well. Again, thank you to our paraprofessionals. Thank you to everyone. Without them, we could not have the success that we do. Our school librarians are very special to us, and then our assistant principals. We thank everyone for what they do and contribute back to us. And that is my One Nelson presentation.
It's just amazing. All goes on, you know, in between school board meetings. It seems like you're saying it like from the whole year, you know.
So, Margaret, I have a question. In regards to Zero Eyes, I know that we have implemented metal detectors at our schools. Where are we with that implementation for athletic events?
So I think that's one of the things I'd like to look at for football is, as we go through the renovation process, how can we see some changes that we can make? Right now, where we have handicap driving, that's also our entrance to games. So how do we set up those weapons detectors for not only outdoor events, but we knew that this was going to be a phased process when we brought the weapons detectors, because we really wanted to see how is it working, how does it impact us, how are we responding? And I think we've responded really, really well. And so we have our next iteration or evolution in that, and it's to try to see how we integrate it to indoor and outdoor events, because we know that that's when you're going to get a whole bunch of people. That's going to take a great deal of communication, not only to our community, but to all individuals who plan on attending our events, because what it picks up on is just we have to be very, very mindful of communicating that out, and say you don't need to bring everything with you to a game. You just need to bring the essentials, unless you want to take a little bit of time getting in. So that is a part of the next step and next phase process, but we really need to be thoughtful about how we set that up, and how we communicate that out. But the football and soccer and all that, especially in the spring, you have a lot of different events coming in, and we want to make sure that we're setting it up in a way to do it well.
Yeah, it's good to hear that that is on the horizon, traveling to lots of schools. It is implemented around us for the indoor as well as the outdoor. So I just want to make sure that we stay ahead of the game of that.
Yeah, and I think there's some sports divisions that have instituted a clear bag policy at events. So I think there's some things in talking with our Dogwood district, like where others, it helps. And really looking into how did you implement this and how did you do it? What would you do the same? What would you do differently? And how can we apply that to our practices and our facilities?
Perfect. Thank you.
Sure.
Good question. All right, so now we're at public comments from the public. What?
Oh, sorry.
It's over here.
Mr. Michael Heather.
All right, perfect. So we've had one person sign up to speak, Michael Hebner, and you know the rules, right?
Hopefully I don't take up too much time. It's Michael Hevener, 11468 Adel Road, Fallbrook, Virginia. And I'm here today to talk about, there's a forum that has been brought to my attention from more than one, less than 50 folks from our area, and it's the Federal Funding Forum. And I'm concerned about that because while this event is presented to be an informative session, this issue is highly partisan. And I believe it's only going to present one side of the story, focusing on the cuts. And if we focus on only the cuts and not where the money is being spent, I think it gives our public, our citizens, only half of the story. And I think we'd be doing a disservice to those that we want to serve. And we need to ask these questions, and especially with the current environment going. And the questions that need to be asked is hard questions. Is it how are the federal and state funds being cut? I know I saw the joint meeting with the Board of Supervisors and School Board, and I admit I don't follow this as closely since I don't have kids in the school system, but it was the amount of funding that is being cut is outrageous. And I was able to reach out to Amy Lawfer and Tim Griffin and to hopefully propose a amendment to this upcoming budget to maybe help with the schools. But the questions that also need to be asked is are there duplications? Are there inefficiencies in the way we spend federal dollars? And it's not just with the school board, because it's not with the school system, but also there had DSS and some other agencies that are dealing with this as well. But also is what safeguards are being in place to ensure tax dollars are being used wisely. To ignore these questions, again, make sure that we have transparency through the public, through other taxpayers. And also, now that I am the chair of the Republican Committee, partisan issues is what I deal with. And the budget and the school system, and you have done a great job at keeping politics out of this. And the fact that this forum is being presented and being run by a partisan group and using county employees to portray that in a political echo chamber is not a way to build the trust of the community, and especially in this day and age, in this environment. So I hope that things are being reconsidered, and I hope that that this message comes across with the heart that I present it with. Thank you.
Thank you. All righty. We're going to go ahead and move on to the consent agenda. Does anybody have any questions on the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the consent agenda has been approved. And now we have items for information. The first two items, actually maybe the first three items, are minutes. So, read those over, make sure if there's any corrections or adjustments you want to make, you let our clerk know, and then we can take care of that before we have to approve them finally. The third one is the policy updates. That is the second reading for those. So I think you guys all have had a chance to read over those and asked all your questions already for those. Okay. And then April is VSBA Workforce Readiness Month. Should you be, is that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
right. Will you do us the honors?
Yeah, so VSBA has put out something that they would like for the public schools, the schools within Virginia, to acknowledge and recognize. So I'm going to read this, and then we can decide to adopt it. Whereas workforce readiness is essential to developing skill sets for students in Virginia's public schools to be successful beyond high school graduation, and whereas the demand for highly skilled jobs over the next decade in Virginia will continue to increase and can be filled by qualified public school students, and whereas we recognize increased collaboration with business and industry, the community college system, and the core school setting is necessary. Whereas the promise of public education is for every child to be successful in school and life. Whereas it is important for Virginia families, students, teachers, and school administrators to be actively engaged in supporting the importance of workforce readiness as part of the educational experience. And whereas we recognize that limited funding, resources, facilities, partnerships, and qualified CTE staff impede student access to workforce readiness opportunities. And whereas the VSBA has established a task force on workforce readiness to make recommendations and to stay at the forefront of these discussions in Virginia schools. And now therefore, the Nelson County School Board recognizes the month of April 2025 as VSBA Workforce Readiness Month and April 16th, 2025 as VSBA Workforce Readiness Day, with the intention to advocate and increase awareness about the supports necessary to promote workforce development opportunities that enable students to be prepared to succeed in a global economy. Recognize this day, 10th of April, 2025.
Thank you very much. Next, we have updated information on the capital improvement plan projects. My personal favorite. I'm sorry, I didn't introduce him, Mr.
That's all right. So as Mandy said, the water cooled chiller has been piped in with some a little unfortunate news. There is a software glitch that Carrier is sending out a representative to work on. So we're waiting to hear from the representative to see it's all in the communications. So.
Let me ask you a question,
Mhm.
because it seems kind of ridiculous to ask this question, but what does a chiller do?
Your water flows through, we cool and heat with water.
Oh, excellent, that's all you need.
Okay.
Perfect, thank you.
So Honeywell has finished the remaining 2 air-cooled chillers. The installation crew has finished the insulating of the chiller pipes on chiller 2, and the insulating crew will be back on the 15th to insulate the pipes on chiller 1. And both of those are scheduled to be started up by Carrier on April the 16th and 17th. So those should be in circulation by that time. So, and I included some pictures there to show you what.
Is that your chair where you've been studying this stuff?
That's where I hide.
He's just watching it.
I should have moved it.
Start
You got it.
Sitting to notice it wasn't going to fit.
Right. Moving on to some of the renovation discussion for Phase 2. We had our kickoff meeting with MB Contractors in Mosley on March the 24th. MB is planning to work evening shifts with all of their subs until school dismisses for the summer. That shift will be a 3:30 to 1:30 a.m. shift. So they will be at night after school working. They plan to work during spring break to install the 4-inch water line into the school, because we got to, with all the replumbing and all, we have to have another service line in. Core and Main will be on site to perform the wet tap onto the main system that we have going in front of the school. And the Service Authority will be working with MB and their sub to install it next week during spring break. We have progress meetings. They're held at the 2nd and 4th Thursday of every month for the duration of this renovation. We just had a progress meeting this morning with MB Contractors in Mosley. Nelson County, we're obligated to hire a third-party commissioning agent and a special inspector for this project. We've been working hard trying to find one. We finally found, they are Facilities Dynamic Engineering, and we actually was able to acquire their services through a cooperative Commonwealth of Virginia contract. So that was just as of yesterday, we was able to affirm that. Some of the other items that we'll talk about, and then I have some notes that aren't included because again, we just had a progress meeting today, so I'll go over those. A little bit about the domestic hot water system situation we have right now. The return hot water pump and the motor starter component shorted out, causing an electrical damage and pump failure. Honeywell has sourced another pump and has placed an emergency purchase order for the pump. The pump was installed this past summer when we installed the new tank. So it's 8 months old. So it actually, the contactors and all, actually, when it shorted out, it blew the cover off of the motor starter cover out in the floor. I found that Saturday morning. So with that said, there's been some discussion with Honeywell about who's responsible for this, because the motor starter is technically on Nelson's side. And they were thinking that the motor starter shorted out, causing the pump failure. When evaluating exactly what was going on and looking through the manual and reading up, we found that Honeywell actually installed the pump upside down, which was against the manufacturer's specifications. So therefore, after some discussion back and forth, they're going to assume the cost of replacing the pump. And that
And I
pump
will
was,
say that Les did a really good job going out and taking pictures right away. And it was those pictures that really helped say, but take a look at this. Yeah, and so, rather than taking it after the fact, took it right away, and I think that really helped craft that narrative of responsibility.
You've done an amazing job covering, yes, you have.
Can I just ask the question, how long is this contract with Honeywell? How long is it up?
That was the right question.
Yeah.
So that's a complicated,
Okay. I know I've asked this question.
complicated answer. It's a simple question, but a complicated answer.
Yeah, I've asked
due
this
to
question
the service
before.
contract, but also the connectedness within the project.
Okay.
Honeywell is a very large company.
Yes.
And they own a big share of the market. So they're almost a sole provider, because when you go to other companies, they already own those other companies.
I get that.
So when you install things that aren't yours, the service isn't there.
Gotcha.
Am I appropriately summarizing? And so when you are able to provide the installation of things and you service them, if you install items that are not from that company, they're not going to.
Gotcha.
and to speak to that, and to that point, the controls that we'll be installing during the renovation, because there's licenses for different controls. There's several, Honeywell makes many different controls. And you're licensed through whatever company you work for, like Southern Air may be licensed to put in a tritium product, which is a Honeywell product. But we work through Honeywell corporate, and they have a different product which talks to our EBI system, the main brains, if you will, of all the HVAC equipment. So the tritium product doesn't directly talk to the EBI, so therefore the Honeywell's corporate puts in their controls that talk directly to our computer system. So it's kind of really intertwined pretty tight in there, yeah.
Intentionally.
I'd like to know how long that will last.
I will say, I think that they've come up on the raw end of this deal the last few times, though.
They've paid her a lot of money with the chiller being tall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe there's some lessons going on.
I will have to say this, and I appreciated it through the email back to Honeywell, as I appreciated them standing behind their work by owning the pump being installed the way it was. This pump is probably around $15,000. So I did acknowledge that with them, that we do appreciate you standing behind your work.
And I think it is also due to, they have monthly meetings on Wednesdays where they convene. And I have been a part of at least one of those meetings where it was difficult, you know. We had to share, I shared my frustrations with how I felt things were going and the impact of a lack of action or poor action and how that reflects on us and how our staff or our community would look at us like, why can't you figure this out? Like, we're just trying to work through it. But I will say that after a couple adjustments and some time invested in talking through this, they have made some changes and they have been responsive to the concerns that we brought and to the point of, you know, we've been able to communicate with them and shown them some things and they have then taken responsibility. So, you know, I think it's taken a lot of work, but I would say that particularly in the last few months, it's really felt like it's improved. Still work, but it is improving because perhaps that trust is being built and that understanding is like, we're paying attention as well. And we aren't going to tell you something that we don't believe in or that isn't right. And I think that it's taken some time, but I do appreciate that they are standing by their work and they are working with us.
And some of that, they recognize they need to make some staff changes too. And that has come about in the last 6 to 8 months. So things are improving better on that end. Some of the notes I took today, I felt it's important to let you guys know for the renovation. Of course, I spoke about the 4-inch line. They're going to be working on that next week. Also, they'll be starting to demo the ceiling. And I shared a map. You'll have a map there in front of you. They're going to start demoing the ceiling as they go through because, quite frankly, we want as much cosmetics as possible because a lot of this money is being put into MEPs. So we agreed that instead of trying to put the ceiling and the ceiling tile back and look hodgepodged, we would prefer to go back with new ceiling once we're done. With that said, they will be tearing out the ceiling starting in section 10, which is that blue section, starting next week, because that's where they're going to start running the main water line down towards that goes down by the auditorium down towards the office, the high school. And then this renovation is going to be done in phases. So they're going to start in 10 and 11, and 11 is the entire CTE wing. So they will be taking the ceiling out during this period of time. They are going to secure everything in place, like our cameras, our light fixtures, all of our fire-related devices. They will fix those to where they're above, and any low-hanging wires above anything the students can grab a hold of. That ceiling will remain open for the duration of this phase. So, and they're planning, as of this morning, the plan right now for MB contractors is to complete section 10 and 11 by the end of this summer. So the ceiling will be put back by the end of this summer. Also, part of that process is we're by contract, we have to give them a minimum of 4 empty rooms so they can start renovating those as well at a time. And working closely with Kevin, matter of fact, he's coming in the progress meetings and all, and so I felt it's important to keep him up to date with everything. And so they will have 4 rooms at a time. They're supposed to give us a minimum of 2 weeks' notice so Kevin can have time to adjust to move classes around. And so part of it, even in the classrooms, there's light, mechanical, electrical, plumbing fixtures that are going in the classrooms. There's some plumbing that run through classrooms above a ceiling to get to like the cosmetology area and all. So some of those areas will have some plumbing involved. But each classroom also will have new ceiling, and we discussed today, and they're actually going to start painting the rooms as well. So when they finish those 4 rooms up, we will have new ceiling and brand new paint on the walls. So, yeah, it's going to be busy.
And the effort is going to be, concentrated work in the summers to get the bulk of the work and then work through the school year, but not like we're going to try to get done in the summers to avoid or to minimize disruptions and impacts on the daily operations. So that is, obviously construction is construction, but that is the effort being placed and to try to minimize We know that, we have this is our second big project that we've had in 2 years, but it's important. There's a safety component to this. We need to make sure that all of this is replaced and things are as safe as possible. So there is a concerted effort to minimize disruptions and inconveniences. But I appreciate Mr. Walker taking some time to be a part of these conversations because he knows his building, his staff, and his students, and can provide some guidance on that.
The other thing also too is the civil work that was they brought to our attention during this whole survey, when they done the civil survey, the parking lots. They also will start working on those this summer too. They're gonna start on the middle school parking lot and work their way around to the front bus loop and to the student parking at the high school. I'll work with Mr. Ashley to coordinate for summer learning drop-off because we're gonna utilize the middle school for secondary, for summer learning, so, yeah. Okay?
Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Thank you so much. All righty. Mrs. Kim Douglas, coming to show us the summer learning proposal. Woo.
Yes, summer learning proposal. It's hard to believe. June 9th through 26th, we'll have our summer learning plan for the summer, and we work as a team. So as Les mentioned, we'll be rearranging and working at Tie River and Nelson Middle School this summer, but it really takes all of the admin, the teachers, all of us working together to really make this plan happen. Maintenance, transportation, food services, SPED, ESL, Title I, you name it. I mean, so we all wrap our heads around this and kind of make a plan together and make it work. We're going to have a robust program again with K-5 remediation, 6-8, 9-12 with credit recovery and remediation. We have enrichment for 2nd through 5th grade. We have Title I tutoring available. We're going to have English language learner time for our students, whether that's all day or we might have 1 hour or 2 hour sessions with our students for Title I and for ESL. We're going to have an open library available for our students once per week. We'll have the book bus again, or books box, I should say again, and CTE academies. So that's our plan currently. We're trying to work around the parameters of the same way we did last year as far as the portrait of a graduate and working towards career readiness for our students. And that starts in kindergarten through 5th grade. So we're taking our program like we did last year and we're rearranging it for that exploring pathways to career success theme so that we can all work towards that with those 5 C's and implementation of the relationship of preparing our students for future careers. So anything that we do, whether it's in the STEM lab or in the classroom, will be related somewhat to that theme for the summer. I want to also mention that there's a $22,000 donation from Wintergreen Foundation, and that's going to be funding a actual STEM teacher for us, T-shirts for our elementary students, and 3 field trips for elementary students. So we're really happy to partner with them, and they're going to be working talking to us about future farmers and agriculture and what that might look like in Nelson County. So that's part of what their thing will be as far as in the STEM lab, and the donation of that funds will encompass that area. Let's see. For the information that I provided you tonight, I've given you the proposal with the financial components of summer learning and what that looks like, and that's a total of $216,802, and the bulk of that is for instructional employee cost. So that's the main component of that, and that's in that packet that I gave you the last 3 pages there that'll go through the individual costs between transportation, employees, and materials for instruction. We have a 1-pager. We'll be posting this upon the proposal for our families. Of course, families are part of that partnership and be able to work with us within our hours that we provide summer learning from 8 o'clock to 3 o'clock during the school day, Monday through Thursday, that 9th through 26th. And the other item of information that I provided for you is this program of studies, which kind of explains in depth what we're going to be offering this summer. Each summer we try to tweak things a little bit. I know that the Excel Academy is going to be offering entertainment, design, and technology areas, hospitality, tourism, and recreation, and science, engineering, and math programs for our students. And then when we're working with CTE, they're working through cosmetology, culinary arts, construction, engineering, marketing, and agriculture. there any questions about Courthouse?
I just don't understand why I can't enroll in
Yeah.
one of these. That's my problem. The Emperors do close. I mean, just the amusement. I love the titles. And I know that the kids just absolutely love these experiences. So thank you.
Thank you for planning it, and thank you to their team that joins in to help make that all happen on the ground.
Very good.
It's incredible. It's a great experience.
It's really nice to see summer school turn from just remedial work to expansion.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
It's really nice. I like that you guys are
Getting our students engaged, so that's the big thing.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the key, is that's the reference to summer learning. Like there's the
Right.
summer school connotation.
Right.
It isn't quite the same as getting everyone, it's learning, and it's learning for all different reasons and
Exactly.
all different types and all different things.
You see it easier for them to re-engage when they come back in the fall, right? Like the gap is not quite so big and those brains are still staying active for portions of the summer. So
Absolutely. And we have a Boost Academy. We offer the week prior to school starting, so that's part of the plan this summer as well. That's an abridged version of what we do, but it is an invite for students, so.
So some kids are invited and other kids are invited strongly, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Don't drink my
Encourage.
Encourage.
Good about that.
All drink my data, yes.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
It's great.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, now we get to hear from Dr. Yarzabinski on the Perkins 5. So exciting.
Since we were celebrating assistant principals a little earlier, I'd be remiss if I didn't give them kudos for the start of the spring SOL test administrations. We started off with integrated reading and writing in the 5th and 8th grades. So Mr. McCullough, Ms. Lopez, and Mr. Garrett have knocked it out of the park, and it always feels good to hit a home run before we get into the main meat of the test administration. All right. Well, I will be presenting on the 25-26 CTE local plan and the budget that we have proposed and how we will spend that money. One component of the Perkins application is a review of our annual performance benchmarks. The APR benchmarks are comprised of 15 standards, including graduation rate, academic proficiency, post-program placement, non-traditional concentration within the programs, and program quality. And as we can see up here, we have met 14 of the 15 indicators. And you can see certain indicators measure the performance of all students, and some include special populations. Our special populations would be our economically disadvantaged, our homeless, students with disabilities, and et cetera. 14 out of 15, we're in pretty good shape. I think that is a solid outcome. I will say longitudinally, last year we did meet 15 out of 15. The year before we were 12 out of 15. And in the 2021 school year, we were 8 out of 15. So we've shown improvement. And I will also note that these performance benchmarks are not static. They do change. As we exceed them, they increase them. They don't want us to rest on our laurels. And I'll get into the meat of some of these. So some of our highlights: academic proficiency. This area increased the most. And we can see that CTE completers both outperformed the benchmark, but they also outperformed the outcomes of the non-CTE population. A little bit of improvement, but mostly flat from the year. But again, those have gone up the highest, and we still exceed all the benchmarks. Additionally, the number of students attaining post-secondary credentials continues to be a celebration, with only a handful of CTE completers not earning an industry credential. We always meet with our teachers. If a student's in the CTE program, the expectation is we get them into a sequential program. Auto 1, Auto 2, Carpentry 1, Carpentry 2. And if they are in the sequential completer, we get them to pass a state-approved credential. So kudos to my teachers in the CTE program. They have knocked it out of the park at that regard. Our area of growth, The only shortcoming came by way of non-traditional program concentration, and this is the number of males in a predominantly female pathway, or the number of females in a predominantly male-oriented pathway. This is a cohort measure, and the drop can primarily be attributed to fewer females in automotive and carpentry programs in this cohort, in addition to fewer males in the nursing and cosmetology programs. There's often variance from one cohort to the next with the number of non-traditional students, even though the number, and I'll get to the next slide, is relatively substantial, the number of non-traditionals. But again, concentration within cohorts. So with small cohorts, small changes equate to pretty large fluctuations in the overall percentages. We dropped from 28% to 15%, and that came by way of 12 students. The Perkins application does highlight initiatives and strategies to increase the enrollment of non-traditional students, primarily by ensuring sufficient opportunities for career exploration and experiences in each student's educational pathway, and articulating more deliberate and robust ways to create, review, and revise each of their ACPs, which is our academic career plans, on an annual basis. These strategies also align with the state board's revision and new expectations of the ACP and ACPP planning process. And lastly, in the Perkins application, we included 2 new potential pathways: emergency medical technician and fire science. These pathways are presented in hopes and in preparation to capitalize on a potential partnership with K-Tech. I've met with about a dozen students so far this week and have a few more meetings tomorrow to explore the feasibility of scheduling these courses at a remote location and ensuring a fit within each potential student's course schedule for next year. I'm excited to capitalize on this opportunity, and I think we're making the appropriate strides. Current CT enrollment, relatively the same from last year. It mirrors our overall enrollment trends. I would say slightly fewer students identified as economically disadvantaged. Biggest change would be the number of English language learners enrolled. That number almost doubled from last year. The overall Perkins budget, some information is slow to come from the state and from the federal government. So this was based on last year's numbers, which there has been little variance from one year to the next, with only a couple $100 change. So $39,165 is what we base this off of, and the funds will be leveraged to increase awareness and exposure to students of CTE programming, especially the non-traditional students in all program areas. We're going to leverage some funds for the implementation of the CTE summer academies, to provide career-related field trips to businesses and industries within the area and region, in addition to transportation for our students to their clinicals, internships, and other work-based learning experiences. We want to make sure we can provide opportunities for credentialing and licensure attainment at no cost to our students. We'd like to modernize and improve and expand upon CTE programming, including modernization of equipment, which is currently used in the field. Provide professional development opportunities to CTE teachers through professional and state organizations, along with access to VDOE trainings and industry workshops. And lastly, implement CTSO, these are our student organizations, in all content areas to increase exposure, hands-on opportunities, and chances for students to showcase their ability in competitions, as evidenced by our FCCLA. So I'd be happy to answer any questions you have regarding the Perkins application at this time.
Thank you. That's great.
Yes, sir.
Programs are doing good work.
Kudos to the teachers. They run tight. All right. I'm next on the agenda as well.
Okay. Stay up there.
Yes, ma'am. New course applications. I'm going to propose 3 new courses, and I know we typically do this in December, and I'll get to the why after I present the courses. All 3 of them are AP courses, AP Seminar and AP Research. To combine these 2 together as part of a new AP Capstone diploma stamp that we're looking to implement. And I'll be verbose on these, my apologies. AP Seminar is a foundational course that engages students in cross-curricular conversations that explore the complexities of academic and real-world topics and issues by analyzing divergent perspectives. Using an inquiry framework, students practice reading and analyzing articles, research studies, and foundational literary and philosophical texts, listening to and viewing speeches, broadcasts, and personal accounts, and experiencing Artistic works and performances. Students will learn to synthesize information from multiple sources, develop their own perspectives and written essays, and design and deliver oral and visual presentations both individually and as part of a team. Ultimately, the course aims to equip students with the power to analyze and evaluate information with accuracy and precision in order to craft and communicate evidence-based arguments. AP Seminar can and will be embedded into the English department, and students will be able to earn an English credit towards graduation. Verified credit as well, because it will also accompany the English writing, SOL, EOC SOL. It is also a prerequisite for AP Research. So AP Research is the second course in the AP Capstone experience, and this allows students to deeply explore an academic problem, topic, issue, or area of individual interest. Students design, plan, and implement a year-long investigation to address a research question. Through this inquiry, they further the skills they acquire in the AP Seminar course by learning research methodology, employing ethical research practices, and accessing, analyzing, and synthesizing information. Students reflect on their skill development, document their processes, and curate the artifacts of their scholarly work through a process and reflection portfolio. The course culminates in an academic paper of 4,000 to 5,000 words, accompanied by a performance, exhibit, or product where applicable, and a presentation with an oral defense. It's kind of like a mini dissertation. And lastly, this is not part of the AP Capstone. This is just an opportunity to embed an additional AP course in the history department, is AP Human Geography. This is a college-level introductory course in human geography that introduces students to the systematic study of patterns and processes that have shaped human understanding, use, and alteration of Earth's surface. Students employ spatial concepts and landscape analysis to examine socioeconomic organization and its environmental consequences. They also learn about the methods and tools geographers use in their research and applications. So the why. So I realize, again, course requests typically come in December. However, in response to the updated school performance and support framework, which is the new state accreditation model, we've been analyzing numerous variables that could potentially impact future accreditation outcomes. One of these variables is the high school master schedule, specifically courses offered that will influence outcomes with regard to the new 3E readiness indicator. This is going to be what replaces the CCCRI. It is more robust, and it's a little bit harder to get points in it. One component of the indicator is enrollment, which awards points for the completion of credit-bearing college-ready courses and exams, specifically AP and dual enrollment courses. And the specific criteria is posted. As you'll see, it's dependent on both the number and course or AP score outcomes. The more students take, the better their score.
I will what you will hear is, particularly when it comes to 3E readiness, is it's additional add-on. So it's not instead of, and so you can, the more you offer, the more opportunities students have to get these points in different areas that then count towards the school's overall score. So that's where you'll see some schools getting 120 for a score, an overall score. It's because they're able to get points from each of these of the 3E categories. So it's not it doesn't cancel one out. It's a very complicated thing. This has been something that the Board of Education has been working on for months to try to figure out how is it best to implement this, because what we've articulated is, if you're in a bigger school system, you may have more opportunities to have some classes than small rural. So this is us, the why of why we're trying. One, we want to be able to give our students the opportunities and pathways that they want to take and will set them up for the most success in whatever avenue they want to take. So the other piece to this is, how does it impact us as a school, and how do we set it up to be as successful as possible? So it is complicated. You have the, Dr. Yarzabinski, did you explain the different E's? This is the enrollment piece.
Enrollment. There's also the employment, which is CTE completers who also get their credential. And there's going to be variation between high demand, high wage, high demand, low wage, and just a regular credential. And we're still differentiating the credentials and their identification. There's also going to be a regional impact. What is high demand and high wage in Nelson County may be different than what is in Fairfax and Newport News. So,
as he just walked through Perkins and expenditures, or why are we spending it this way? Why are we targeting certain things? Why are we making sure students are taking sequential classes? One, because it gives them the best opportunity to be successful and highly trained in those areas that they can be, but also there's another piece is making sure that we're supporting the accreditation piece. It's more about giving the students an opportunity to be successful, but we have to be mindful and strategic about it. And the other E is, oh my gosh. Enlistment, oh my gosh, the ASVAB, which the ASVAB is kind of transitioning, not just it's not solely a military assessment, it is more career-based assessment. So really taking an opportunity to look at that and how do we apply it to our students.
And it's a really good opportunity for students who have created an ACP and had their interest inventories taken at the middle school to be reevaluated to see how that has changed. And then they have a more robust medium through the government websites to explore potential careers based on their ASVAB results. So.
And for those of you blank, ACP is the
Academic career plan.
Academic career plan, and that has really been something that we've discussed, making it a part of our conversations with our counselors and our administrators about, particularly, the development of it in middle school, but really our parents, our students, our teachers, our counselors, our administrators aware of a student's career plan, academic career plan, and making decisions based off of that, and having a collective collaborative effort in communication about this is why you should schedule this class, because you've done your inventories, you've done your assessment of what you want to do, we've sketched out this plan for you, this is how you're going to get there. So all of this is so strongly connected with each other. What you presented before in Perkins, the discussion about enrollment and providing opportunities for higher level classes.
And the second why is the College Board offers what is called the AP Capstone Diploma Program, in which students can either earn the AP Capstone Diploma or the AP Seminar and Research Certificate. It's easily articulated up there. The Capstone Diploma is granted to students who earn scores of 3 or higher in both seminar and research, and then take 4 additional AP exams of their choosing. And the AP Seminar Research Certificate is granted to students who simply earn scores of 3 or higher in both AP, Seminar, and Research. Integrating this opportunity into Nelson County High School's programming provides rigorous course options that align with the vertically articulated English language program being implemented across all grade levels, as well as providing strict alignment with the Nelson Profile of a Graduate and the 5 C's, communication, collaboration, critical and creative thinking, and citizenship, all which were articulated in the course descriptions. And lastly, it would provide students with the opportunity to engage in rigorous coursework in preparation for college. It would also help students bolster their college applications and keep them competitive relative to peers outside of Nelson, as several schools in the region are currently offering or plan on implementing the AP Capstone program as options to their students. Again, the implementation of these courses is dependent on several variables, including the fit in the master schedule, qualifications of instructional personnel, and the training requirements set forth by the College Board. We just want to be prepared to execute viable options should the opportunity arise to us. And a big thank you to Jennifer Campbell and Kevin Walker for helping me explore some of these and flesh out some scheduling options, and engaging in conversation with colleagues around the state. And we met with a lady from Fairfax today to really dig into this and how it worked for there and how it could work for us. So I'd be happy to answer any questions you have regarding the new AP courses.
I love the new course offerings, love the fact that you're exploring this early on, so I appreciate that. One question, I don't know if you can answer this or not. Looking at the new class schedule of offerings, I noticed that humanities is not listed. Do we know what happened to our humanities classes?
AP Lang.
AP what?
Lang.
Lang.
Yes, I don't get a lot of grade class.
So did that replace the humanities class?
Yes.
Okay. So that's no longer an offering. Those,
Right now, yes.
okay. Is it covering the same, or is it a different?
A little bit more robust.
Okay, okay, all right.
But a lot
Yeah.
of similarities.
Gotcha. I appreciate that. I'll dig into it more. I just noticed that the curriculum offering just looked different. And I was wondering, are we replacing, when we bring on the AP, are we replacing it with other classes? Do students that don't want to go the AP route still have the opportunity to do those other offerings? Or are they now having to go down that route?
We're not trying to pigeonhole anybody.
Okay.
We are still going to have honors level courses being offered in the English department. AP Seminar is unique in which if an English teacher instructs it, it makes the student eligible for
Yes.
credit in English. AP Research is not embedded into the English department. It would be an elective-based course, so you'd still have your 11th and 12th grade honors and AP lit options in the English department. With regard to other AP exams, no, they're not looking to replace any honors-based courses. A lot of things we have to consider is the number of students requesting humanities, and when we implemented AP Lit, I do believe the requests for that exceeded that of humanities, so not viable to implement a course with 5, 6 students in the master schedule.
of course.
And I can't say it was 5 or 6, but
Yeah,
I just remember, hey, we had to make a decision.
appreciate that.
I just want to make sure as we are offering new courses, we still have those courses available for those that may or may not want to go that route. So thank you for that.
Absolutely.
You can take an AP course and not take the test, though, right?
You can, however, with the new 3E model, it is highly discouraged because it's not based on the letter grade you score at the end of the term. It's based off of the letter grade and the score you receive on the AP assessment.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm thinking of a long time ago when AT was a new thing.
So a lot of school systems are willing to pay for the first 6, 5, depending on where they're at, AP exams. That way students are encouraged to maximize the accreditation indicators. However, still have the opportunity to take more should they choose to. We're exploring and engaged in conversation with that on how we're going to incorporate support, just like CTE credentials. We don't want the burden to be on the student.
Right, I got you.
So-
Okay.
Yeah.
I like this, and I like that we're looking at continuing to provide more and more rigorous classes for our students, but I also like this specifically with the research and the seminar in that it's going to help our kids learn to critically think, critically evaluate data and information coming at them so that they can create a formed, not a formed opinion, but a formed thought process on it.
I tell you what, I went to Zion's Crossroads to judge and score some of the governor schools from not just Nelson County, but from the region. And in those conversations, I asked some of the upper quartile students there, like, how did you get so much more in depth? How did you research? I mean, they were miniature dissertations, and some of them even said, yeah, my research course, my seminar courses. So it provided the foundation to make these kids and their governor school projects just exemplary.
One of the things that we've heard as our kids move on into, if they decide to go into secondary, into college or courses there, one of the things that we've heard is that the preparation, right? Like, are they ready for the rigor, the independence, the research? And I think courses like this really help. They take a course like this, they're miles above their peers in getting started on some of those courses. I mean, it's a huge prep for some kids.
In research and seminar, and the conversation we had with Fairfax representatives today, they're not exclusively for honors level and higher students. They were offering this up to CTE students with certain interests. Agriculture students wanting to explore a local environmental issue. And in the AP seminar, they're working as a team to explore it, to gather data. And so they're piquing their own interest, and it's forming their trajectory through high school and their classes that they're taking as a result of that. So
That's great critical thinking.
it is,
no matter what.
could truly be a formative course.
And I think the misconception of AP is only for a college-bound student. These classes are really supporting, we keep talking about the portrait of a graduate and 5 Cs, but like that is a career-ready preparation, because what is it we hear from employers? We need, they're not able to solve problems. They want to be given the answers. They don't have the initiative. They don't know what to do to go find the answers. And so this is the type of course that, yes, it'll give you a leg up if you decide to be post-secondary, but it'll give you a leg up in this current work environment of you're the person entering in an entry level or maybe getting a job that you don't need the hand-holding. You know how to go get information. You know how to think critically and solve problems, work with others, be creative about it. And I think that's what we really appreciated about these courses is the opportunities is not specific. I think we take pride and we don't want to just promote college. We were promoting careers, not specific jobs, like careers. What are you going to do? And you're prepared to be in college, but if you so choose to go in the direction of a career, you're ready to go. And that overall life ready. I think if anything we saw from COVID and other things is like people just weren't, the life piece of coming back out of it and being prepared and being able to move forward. I think that that's something that's really important to us, is that we're just prepared for whatever direction you go in, and not, pigeonholing. Well, you're AP, then if you're AP, then you can only go this direction and you must go to college. You're just being prepared, and I think that that's important to us.
Well, I really like your example of saying whether you're a CTE person, the ability to do this course and find some life skill, some work skill out of it. Excuse me, Mr. Dawson.
Yeah, and I think that's the important point. I think it's how we communicate it and market it to our students, because I don't think everyone has that understanding. And I love hearing the different avenues and that creative approach of how we get all kids into those classes. So I appreciate whatever new communication or marketing we can do as we talk to our students about their next path. Because I do think there is a perception out there that those courses are only geared toward individuals that want to go to 2 4-year colleges. And there's also a perception that they can't get into them. So I appreciate hearing that and the thought process through that. Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely.
I'm excited that this is all encompassing, because, once kids understand what this is about, it is going to help kids prepare. Part of going to college is understanding how to be a college student, right? How to prepare a paper, how to research, how to footnote properly, all of those things. But in the CTE world, in the working world, but even as a consumer, it's hard for young people to see this far ahead, but eventually they're going to have to buy a car, they're going to have to buy a house. And you need to be able to research these things, so that you can protect yourself as a consumer, and it just makes you a more well-rounded person. So I'm very excited about this, and the other things that you all are doing as far as evaluating students in middle school and then reevaluating them in the high school, which, we've had many conversations about those things, and I'm just very excited about that, because it just helps them down the road. No matter what they decide to do, they're going to be more successful doing that. Thank you.
Our workforce readiness thing.
That's right.
I just think the way you present it, the child, the student can go back to the parent and help them understand, the opportunities that they have, and then the parent can easily understand what their child is trying to do, and not say, well, this is not for you. That they understand there's a component here that will help them further their education and do some of the things that they thought maybe their child wasn't ready for. So I appreciate that part of it too.
I think it's great. Makes me want to go back to school, but not really. 45,000 words, oh, that's hard.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right, now we have a budget update, or no? Budget update? Yes.
I think I may have stolen.
Oh, so it's already done?
When I was talking, so I
Covered?
think I'm in trouble.
All right.
Yes.
So you're saying,
Get up.
come and tell us.
So we good on that.
We're good?
Yeah,
We don't have
I
any
think
more?
right now, we're just awaiting
Okay.
state budget, federal, we're just awaiting more information.
Okay, all right.
But I will emphasize, in the process, trying to think through, if this happens, this is our response, or this is potential decisions that we'll have to make. We want to be prepared to know what we can do. If something happens with E-rate, if something happens with CEP, if something happens, we need to be thinking through.
Right, so we're like in the calm before, hoping for the best. Before the call. Okay, so now we're at items for action, which we usually zoom through, but I just want to ask you this question about this one. You ready? Okay. So I'm just going to be calling for some motions here. So first one is approval of VSBA policy updates, the second reading of those policies. Any questions or comments or anything like that? All right, then I will entertain a motion to approve those policies.
I move that we approve the VSBA policy updates February 2025.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now we need to approve the 24-25 Perkins 5 CTE local plan.
I move we approve the 2024-2025 Perkins 5 CTE local plan as presented.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Perfect, perfecto. Now we need to approve the VDOE authorization of signature in absence of the division superintendent.
I make a motion that we approve the VDOE approval of signing the division superintendent is absent.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Now we have surplus items to approve. Is there any, I didn't ask anybody this questions or anything like that, but does anybody have any questions? Dr. Hester, do you want us to just say, even though the donation one, do you want to do them separate or the same?
I think you can do it.
In one? Okay. So I need a motion to approve surplus items, disposal of surplus items.
I'll make a motion to approve the disposal of surplus items.
All in, I need
I
a second,
second.
sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Perfect. All right, and now we have an overnight field trip request.
I move that we approve the field trip request by the FFA for an overnight trip for the Nelson Middle School, Nelson County High School to Virginia Tech for the state FFA convention.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Perfect. Awesome. Okay, now we would need a motion to go into closed session. I believe it's only for personnel items. Or if we don't have any questions or anything.
Just personnel.
Just personnel? Okay.
I move that the board go into closed session to discuss and consider the personnel report and other confidential personnel matters as authorized by Virginia Code 2.2-3711A1 for purposes of discussion or consideration of prospective candidates for employment, assignment, appointment, promotion, performance, demotion, salaries, disciplining, or resignation of specific public officers, appointees, or employees of any public body.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Perfect. We are now in closed session.